Hey guys, CombaT-EX showing you PvT, and this game's a PvT on Blue Storm, and this game will be showing you guys how to beat a macro terran type player. And when I say that, I mean like, for all you guys who play Protoss, you don't know what I'm talking about here. Basically, have you ever played a terran player that pretty much like sits with his 2 bases and then gets like 20 siege tanks, or sorry, not even 20 siege tanks. He gets 10 siege tanks. Then he takes his 3rd expansion, and then he sits with that, and then he takes his 4th expansion, and he sits with that, and then he gets like 50 siege tanks and he just overruns you because he's maxed and he has like 2,000 minerals. If that's happened to you, then this video is going to help you out pretty much, because this shows you how to beat a macro terran type player. And especially on Blue Storm, when you can actually camp with your first 5 bases, you can literally divide the map in half, and it can be Protoss 5 bases versus Terran 5 bases. And obviously Protoss needs to be up a base to be on par with Terran. So once they both have 5 bases, the Terran usually takes a small edge in the game. So yeah, this game I've said this like 5 times already, but yeah, I'll show you guys how to beat a macro Terran player pretty much. It's not that hard actually. Basically, like sure, 5 bases versus 5 bases, the Terran is ahead, although, and it might even get to that in this game, but like the thing is, if you take your first 5 bases so early, like if you can take your first 5 bases by the time their 3rd base like just started, think of it, you are going to be in such a huge advantage economically, even when you won't even let them get their 5 bases. If that sounds confusing, I'll reword it. Basically, let's put it this way. When a Terran player takes his 3rd expansion, he usually has very little tanks, and he's looking to expand. He's not really looking to attack or anything. So you can pretty much cut your Dragoon pump or whatever the hell you're pumping, and focus on only pumping probes, and then take 2 more bases, like right after that. Right when you see him get his 3rd base, you take 2 bases. That's like very key, because if you can do that, then basically they can attack, because whatever units they have, they need that for defense. So if they try to attack, there's always going to be that risk of a counterattack. So like you can easily take 2 bases. Like if you have 3 bases versus the Terrans 2, and then they take the 3rd expansion, just take your 4th base right away, and then like a minute later take your 5th base. And the thing with that is like your opponent can't really do anything about it, because a Terran player is like, he's gonna be camping and he's gonna be like turtling just till he can get his macro up. So like it's really effective. And then by the time their 3 bases kick in, your 5 bases are gonna be kicked in. And so like 5 bases versus 3 bases, you can already compare that. And I'm trying to micro this SCV. Technically, I'm trying to micro this probe. You can actually micro a probe so the SCV does not attack it, and I'm trying to do it. Although if they micro their SCV, you can't really do it that well. And come on, fuck, I have to kill this. 10 life, come on, 5, 1 more, yeah, there we go. Okay, 2 kills on a probe, that's sexy right there. And now I'm gonna run this probe because it's like 10 life. But yeah, anyways, what do you call it? Yeah, so once their 3 bases kick in, your 5 bases are gonna be kicked in, and so it's gonna be pretty much like 12 tanks and 12 vultures versus like 30 dragoons and like 20 zealots. And so there's no competition there. You'll easily be able to take that, no problem. And like that's what I'm talking about. You can have such an economic lead over your opponent that like even like you won't even let them get their 4th and 5th base up. That's what I'm talking about. And you won't let the map be divided in half. Again, I'm kind of focusing on Blue Storm because I bet you most Protoss players get beat by campers on this map, just because this is the ultimate Terran camp map. And what do you call it? It's really easy to camp, pretty much. What do you call it? What was I gonna say? I was about to say something right now. I totally forgot. What was I gonna say? Alright. So obviously, if the Terran player is really good, like if Boxer did the camp thing and he just camped with 3 bases, and then I did the 5 base thing, obviously he'd still win. If the person's better than you, like there's no way to change that. You can do whatever build you want, they're gonna end up beating you. Like I could do whatever build I want, Bisu or Boxer, they're gonna still end up beating me. Like it's just, they're better than me. There's nothing else to it. So like if you get mad because you lose when you did this 5 base versus the 3 base camp thing, well, don't be mad, because like if the person's better than you, he's gonna beat you, and that's a fact, and that's not gonna change. So like yeah, just don't blame it on me when you lose, because it's possible to lose. I even lose when I do this sometimes, because the best way for a Terran player to beat a Protoss player that does this, basically if a Terran player is taking 3 bases and camping like that, the Terran player, all he needs to do is get dropships and then start vulture harassing everywhere, like dropping vultures everywhere, and just harassing you like crazy and killing all your probes. and then while he's harassing like that, he's macroing like crazy also. So like that also changes the game a lot. But like in a standard game, in the standard this is a standard counter to a 3-base giant camper that just camps to get all his bases up. So yeah, what else? Right now, again, I'm getting my second base up, and I'm just waiting for him to get his base because I don't know. Right now, I don't really know what he's doing. He could be going 2 fact, he could be going 1 fact. I really don't know what he's doing, so I'm hesitant to get my third base up. Although it's really stupid to go, It's stupid to go 2 fact in this map because, as you can see, he's expanding. Because the distance you have to travel to get to the opponent's base with tanks is so vast that by the time he gets to my base, I'll have so many dragoons out and I'll overpower him. So that's why most people just do 1 fact into expansion because it's very easy and very safe. And now he got his expansion up, and now I'm going to get my third base up. And for all you Protoss players that complain, oh, they could lift their command center and then they land it, and then by that time I get my third base up, I just start my third base. Well, as you can see, that's exactly what happened here. And so you're not in that big of a disadvantage when you do that. And right now, I'm doing the most standard Protoss build order to pretty much beat pretty much beat a terran timing push build. I'm pretty much doing 5-gate build right now. I get 3 gates, like right after I get my Nexus, the next minerals I spend are in 3 gateways, and then the next minerals after that I spend are in a Citadel, and I just get leg speed with the Citadel. So that's probably the most standard Protoss build. I don't know if it's really that standard, but that's what I do, and that's what I see most Protoss players actually doing. So this is a good way it's a good opening for Protoss. It keeps you really safe, and you can do lots of stuff with this once you have this up. Right now, as you can see, like he's in this building mode. Right now, either he could be setting up for a third base, or he could be setting up for a push. Either way, this build is pretty safe. If he's setting up for an expansion, then I'll get my 4th expansion. If he's setting up for a push, well, I'll be able to beat it. So it's a pretty good build. And my third base is a lot later than it should be, but it's only because I had to play safe because I didn't know what he was doing. So like you guys can't really complain that the terran player usually gets